The walls are finally closing in, and the silence we've all been waiting for them to break has officially shattered. Kate Middleton and Prince William have reportedly signalled they are deeply concerned by the continuing revelations regarding the Epstein files. And let me tell you, this is the moment everything changes for the monarchy. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. It is so good to have you here with me today, although I have to say the tea is piping hot and, frankly, a little bitter this morning. We have so much to get through, and if you have been feeling that strange tension in the air coming from across the pond, you are certainly not alone. We are looking at a historic shift in how the palace handles scandal, and it is about time. For years we have watched the royal family adopt that stiff upper lip, that never complain, never explain strategy that the late Queen Elizabeth perfected. But we are in a new era now, and frankly, silence is no longer a luxury they can afford. The latest reports coming out of Kensington Palace are nothing short of explosive because they confirm what we have suspected all along. Behind the polite smiles and the ribbon cuttings, William and Kate are absolutely furious, and they are heartbroken. Let's get right into the thick of it. We are hearing word that a spokesperson for the Prince and Princess of Wales has actually gone on record, privately but firmly, stating that the couple is deeply concerned by these new relentless waves of Epstein documents. Now pause for a second and think about how rare that is. William and Kate almost never comment on legal matters, especially ones that involve family members, but the sheer volume of filth, excuse my language, but that is what it is, coming out about Prince Andrew has forced their hand. They cannot pretend this isn't happening anymore. We are talking about allegations that are not just embarrassing, they are threatening the very survival of the institution that William is meant to inherit. And why are they so concerned right now? Well, it's not just the old stories resurfacing. It is the new details. We are hearing about photographs, horrifying descriptions of Andrew leaning over a young woman. We are hearing about police inquiries, specifically Thames Valley Police, assessing reports about women being taken to Windsor. Windsor. That is the family's backyard. That is where the Queen is buried. That is where William and Kate live with their children. Can you imagine the sickness in the pit of your stomach knowing that this kind of activity was allegedly happening just a stone's throw from where your children sleep? It is no wonder William is reportedly enraged. He has spent his entire life trying to be the model of duty, trying to clean up the mess left by his parents' generation. And here comes his uncle, the favourite son, dragging the family name through the mud yet again. The reports are suggesting that this isn't just about moral outrage, it is about national security. There are fresh allegations that Andrew, back when he was playing the big-shot trade envoy, might have shared confidential government reports, sensitive information about Singapore, China, and Vietnam, with Jeffrey Epstein. If that is true, we aren't just talking about a sleazy friendship anymore. We are dancing dangerously close to treason, or at least severe misconduct in public office. And William, who takes his role as the future king so seriously, must be looking at this and thinking, how do I protect my wife and kids from this fallout? It has been reported that King Charles is finally making moves, but you have to wonder if it is too little too late. We know that the king has been supporting the police assessment, which is a polite way of saying he isn't going to stand in the way if the authorities come knocking for his brother. But the real drama is happening at the Royal Lodge. You know, that massive 30-room mansion that Andrew has been squatting in like a toad, refusing to leave? Well, the moving vans have been spotted. It seems the siege of Royal Lodge is coming to an end. We are hearing that priceless art and possessions are being boxed up and shipped out. Andrew is being downgraded, effectively evicted, and moved to Wood Farm or a smaller cottage at Sandringham. It is a humiliation, absolutely, but let's be honest with each other. Is it enough? He is still living in a royal property, protected by private security that Charles is paying for. If this were anyone else, they would be out on the street, but the royals protect their own, even the rotten apples, to a certain extent. And this is where Kate comes in. Can you imagine the strength it takes to be her right now? She is the one who has to face the cameras, look perfect, wave to the crowds, and pretend that her husband's uncle isn't the subject of international sex trafficking headlines. Kate is the jewel in the crown. She is the one keeping the popularity numbers up. And reports say she is finding this continuing revelation deeply distressing, not just for the reputation of the firm, but for the victims. That phrase, "Thoughts remain focused on the victims," is key. It is a subtle shift. It is William and Kate telling us, we are not him. We stand with the victims, not the abuser. It is a line in the sand. But of course we cannot talk about royal drama without looking over at the West Coast, can we? While William and Kate are dealing with this absolute nightmare, trying to hold the monarchy together with grace and dignity, we have Meghan Markle over in Montecito. You just know the Duchess is watching this unfold. The insiders are buzzing that Meghan is probably feeling a mix of relief and perhaps a bit of vindication. Remember how she claimed she wasn't protected by the institution? Well, looking at how they protected Andrew for years, you can almost hear her saying, "I told you so." However, the contrast couldn't be starker. While Kate is expressing deep concern over serious allegations involving abuse and victims, the news coming out of the Sussex camp is, as usual, a little more self-focused. We are hearing rumours that Meghan is planning a strong reaction or potentially another tell-all to back up Harry. She is reportedly busy reshaping her narrative. Always the narrative, isn't it? There are even whispers about her being worried about photos with the Kardashians and whether wearing a poppy, or not wearing one, will upset the royals she is supposedly trying to reconcile with. It is almost laughable. William is dealing with a constitutional crisis and police inquiries. Meghan is worried about her Instagram aesthetic and whether she is being unfairly portrayed. It really highlights the difference in priorities. You have Kate, the future queen, dealing with the weight of history and the moral compass of the nation, and then you have Meghan, seemingly plotting her next brand move or subtle jab at the family that gave her that title. And let's not forget the timing. Meghan has always had a knack for popping up just when the palace is on its knees. With Andrew's scandal reaching a boiling point, the Sussexes have a choice. They can stay dignified and silent, or they can use this as ammunition. And knowing what we know about the Duchess of Difficult, as some staff used to call her, I wouldn't bet on silence. There is talk that she feels Harry is still being painted as the bitter one, and she wants to set the record straight. But honestly, who cares about Harry's bitterness when there are actual victims of Epstein waiting for justice? It seems so petty in comparison, doesn't it? The real tragedy here is the slimmed-down monarchy that King Charles wanted. It is looking a bit too slim, isn't it? With Andrew in disgrace, Harry and Meghan in self-imposed exile, and the older generation slowing down, the pressure on William and Kate is immense. They are the only ones left to carry the torch. This Epstein scandal isn't just a tabloid story. It is a heavy weight on their shoulders. Every time they step out, they have to wonder if a reporter is going to shout a question about Andrew. They have to worry about what George, Charlotte and Louis will hear at school. Kids talk, parents talk. The shield of invincibility that used to surround the royals has been pierced, and it is leaking badly. I also want to touch on something else, the other royals. Prince Edward, usually the quiet one, has also broken silence, emphasizing the need to remember the victims. Even the Norwegian royals are getting dragged into this, with Crown Princess Mette-Marit having to apologize for her own past meetings with Epstein. It just shows how deep this web went. It wasn't just Andrew. It was a whole network of elites who thought they were untouchable. But Andrew was the one foolish enough, or arrogant enough, to think he could bring that darkness into the heart of the British royal family and get away with it. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with a king who is trying to clean house without destroying the foundation. It leaves us with a prince and princess of Wales who are deeply concerned and likely absolutely exhausted. And it leaves us, the public, watching the curtain be pulled back. The glamorous fairy tale is looking a bit grim right now, but I have to say, I respect William and Kate for signalling their concern. They could have stayed silent. They could have let the palace press office handle it with a generic no comment. But by letting it be known that they are disturbed by this, they are aligning themselves with us, with normal people who look at this situation and feel sick. This is far from over. The police are assessing the information. The files are not done releasing secrets. There are more names, more details, and probably more shame to come. Andrew might be hiding away in his cottage, stripped of his titles, but the stain he has left on the family will take a generation to wash out. And poor Kate, she has to wear the white coat and the smile and keep walking forward, hoping the mud doesn't splash onto her hem. As for Meghan, we will wait and see what her strong reaction is, but I have a feeling it will be less about justice and more about justification for her own choices. I want to know what you think about this. Do you believe William and Kate's concern is going to lead to more action? Do you think Charles should have kicked Andrew out years ago? And what about Meghan? Do you think she is sitting back enjoying this show, or is she actually right to criticize the family that harbored Andrew for so long? Let's chat in the comments, because this is a conversation we need to have. The monarchy is changing before our eyes, and I am not sure if it is for the better, or just a necessary collapse of the old way of doing things. Stay tuned, because I will be keeping a very close eye on the headlines, especially with these new police inquiries. Until next time, take care of yourselves.